Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Overly Misguided. This is episode 7, where today I have Zach and Nathan, the Sims Bros. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Zach. And I'm Nathan. And we're Sims Bros.
Hey, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So, first I wanted to jump into some news. I know when I'm filming this is being filmed on Saturday, so Astro World happened yesterday. So I just kind of wanted to jump into the Travis Scott conversation. I know you guys have probably all seen it trending on Instagram, Twitter, and everything. I know you guys have definitely heard about what's going on and the whole situation somewhat.
Yeah, I've heard about it a little bit. Yep.
I think it's like messed up. People tried to go for a good time, and folks wound up dead and injured. So.
No, literally, right. And that's the scary part. So I'm
Can't
gonna
even go out and just have fun anymore without
something happening,
right.
Something popping off.
Literally. So I'm going to give you the full breakdown of kind of what happened. So basically, if you don't know who Travis Scott is, I don't know where you've been or where you live. You probably live under a rock. So Travis Scott is a rapper, a music artist. So he had Astro World, which is a huge concert. There was over 50,000 plus people there. Insane. 8 people ended up dying from either cardiac arrest or being trampled to death. Over 100 people injured and in the hospital. So basically, I guess the crowd, like a lot of people, there's like videos going viral. I don't know if you guys have seen any of them.
I haven't even seen anything, no.
It's literally like this huge gate that's up. And then you just see a bunch of people just like they bust the gate open. And mind you, some of the people got caught under the gate that people are running over. So mind you, there's like hundreds of people running through this gate and people just being stepped on. There's people screaming for help. Like it's just, the videos are really disgusting and disturbing to watch personally. So I have this small clip I want to play that kind of gives a breakdown. There was a girl who climbed the ladder where one of the cameramen were to let him know that like someone had died. People were passing out. So I'm going to play the clip right now. I don't want to get copyrighted, but this is a TikToker talking right now.
This is a live recollection of what happened at the Travis Scott Astro World Festival by the girl that has been pictured and video recorded on stage shouting at the cameraman that something is going on. This is very emotional and could be potentially triggering to a lot of you, so be aware. Today is November 5th, 2021. It is a Friday. Who I am in this story is not important. Rather, it is important the things I have now witnessed. Astro World, Houston, Texas. Travis Scott is the only one performing. I don't know how many people were at the festival, but I do know that every single person was at that stage. My friend and I wanted to get as close to the stage as close as we could possibly get. We were not able to get very close, but we did end up on the side, near the walkway in the middle. Surrounding us were chest-high metal gates, barriers. We stood there for 2 hours, as did every other person. Every gap was filled. Where your feet were placed was where you were staying. Energy rose as the time neared, beginning the show. Within the first 30 seconds of the first song beginning, people began to drown in other people. There were so many people, tall men, women. Women and men were the only thing they could see was the back of the person in front of them. The rush of people became tighter and tighter. Breathing became something only a few were capable of. The rest were crushed or unable to breathe in the thick, hot air. My friend began to gasp for breath and told me we needed to get out. We tried, but there was nowhere to go. The shoving got harder and harder. If someone's arms had been up, it was no longer possible to put it down. So people began to choke one another as the mass swayed. It became more and more violent. We began to scream for help. We could see security just a few people over in the walkway in the middle. It got tighter, impossible to breathe as our lungs were compressed between the bodies of those surrounding us. More people began to scream for help. The music continued. Hundreds of people.
I'm going to pause real quick. Can you fucking imagine that? Like, fuck no. Like,
I couldn't do it.
Like, being in a crowd of people, obviously, like, for me, I get very anxious and anxiety, like, when it comes to stuff like that, because, like, I really don't like being around a lot of people, but, like, being in a crowd where you can't breathe, you know that there's really no way out of here, and you don't know if you're going to get trampled to death, if you're going to get stepped on, crushed, something broken, and it's, like, the fact that people died, and it's like, damn, like, that could have been you. And then there was someone, I guess, running around injecting people with stuff.
What?
Yeah, he gets to that point.
Ripped their vocal cords apart, screaming for help, but we were not heard. There was nowhere to go. My friend was trapped between people on every side of her, and she was desperately trying to move towards the rail. It was of no use. The screaming intensified as more people realized they could not breathe. We begged security to help us, for the performer to see us and know something was wrong. None of that came. We continued to drown, more and more. One person fell or collapsed. It doesn't matter how it started. Once one fell, a hole opened up in the ground. It was like watching a Jenga tower topple over. Person after person were sucked down. You could not guess from which direction the shove of hundreds of people would come next. You were at the mercy of the wave. I watched my friend be dragged away from me and lost sight of her. I began to realize in that moment there was a way to die that not many people know about, being trampled to death.
It's literally insane. Like, I saw the thing that Travis put up on his story, you know, apologizing and saying sorry to all the families, but it's like, you continued to perform at that point, seeing what's going on, hearing people scream for help, and you're just up there still fucking
while
singing.
the whole concert was going on, while all that was going on, he still was performing?
He was still performing that entire time. Wow. Now, I'm going to get into something about this and I don't want people to call me crazy. I feel like they definitely are. That's why I'm glad you guys are here. I feel like Zach and Nathan are very woke and conscious people when it comes to not just looking at things when it comes to a surface level. Now, when it comes to these concerts, a lot of these concerts are rituals. And there was a lot of pictures that Travis Scott was posting before this, talking about see you on the other side, talking about a dystopia, just a lot of creepy, demonic-looking things. People, when you see these viral videos and you hear people screaming in the crowd, it literally sounds like they're in hell, like people screaming for help. And the scary thing is, I don't know, obviously you guys know who Lil Uzi Vert is. Yeah. There was a clip of him at one of his concerts saying, oh, all of you guys are going to hell with me. I'm bringing you to hell. Like, there's no way out. And everyone's like, oh, it's just a joke. Like, he's just being funny. And I'm just like, he's not joking. Like, have you guys ever, like, pay attention to context clues? All these, like, concerts and events, what is always surrounding them? Fire. Yeah. There's always some sort of, like, weird tunnel. There's symbolism. There's eyes. There's triangles. There are deeper meanings behind these things. Nothing is a coincidence when it comes to these things happening. Those 8 souls that died that night, rest in peace. I'm so sorry to those families because that is such an awful thing and it's tragic. It's terrible. But those souls were definitely sacrifices that night. And it's just sad and terrible that we live in a generation where people get so riled up to the point where they're almost like consumed with some sort of other energy where they aren't thinking critically like, hey, like, why are we all trampling to the front? We know we're hurting people. There's people screaming. There was one EMT there, one EMT truck. There was people standing on top dancing on it, literally dancing on top of the truck. And there was other people having to give other people going to the concert CPR because there wasn't enough medics. Like, my thing, there's 50,000 people.
That should have already been known and planned, you know, like, there should be EMS all over, just, you know, ready for things like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, definitely.
I think at some point they were saying how security didn't care anymore. They just said, you know, if you have a wristband, like, put your wrist up. People were just walking in. And that's when people were like, you know what, fuck it. And they just trampled the fuck in. But it's just sad. I think a lot of people are going to take what I said and not think about it. But stop looking at things on a surface level and really dive deep. Look at the symbolism. Look at the postings before. Nothing is a coincidence. And that's all I want to say about that. I don't know if you guys have any further comments that you want to talk about when it comes to this Astro World situation, but that's mine. And I don't want
pretty much summed it all up. It's something bigger than what happened. Like, it's definitely demonic or something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like you said, like, I mean, people don't even look at the small details. Like, before the show started, you said he's having all these pictures of, like, eyes, the all-seeing eye, and just, like, you said, making it over to the other side.
Literally.
Like, it goes right over their head. You know, they think it's just entertainment.
Or we're just coming to see a concert.
Yeah, they don't even care to think on that type of level. So that's the problem. And most people consciously don't even know.
No, literally.
They don't know. So they don't even think to go deeper, and because
in our society, we're taught not to critically think. We're told, okay, we're given the instructions, we look at it, we're told what to do, and we do it. We don't question it. I'm going to teach my children, like my parents taught me, to question everything. Do your own research, your personal research, because not everything is what it seems. And I think people don't understand is that energy is transferred. Everything is made up of energy. So all those people in the crowd screaming his name, giving him all this energy, is literally feeding him. Have you ever, like, there's pictures of Travis Scott. If you just look at him, I'm sorry to all the Travie fans out there. I know you're going to be fucking butthurt about what I'm about to say. He literally looks dead half the time.
Yeah.
I've even, like...
Or off some lean or something.
Yeah. I've had friends when I was living in Florida who went to concerts and seen him. They've even said, like, he's just kind of, like, out of place. Like, he'll move weird. It's a different vibe, different energy, yeah. And I've seen a video clip of him online. Like, he was with the Kardashians, like, they had some type of event outside. The whole family is, like, gathered around. And he's just off to the side, like, head down, kicking grass, like, possessed. Like,
no,
what
literally,
are you doing, bro?
I think Kylie is his handler. And people, even then, they're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Look it up. Look into Gematria. Look into MK Ultra. Look into all this stuff. It's out there. The information's out there. You just got to find it. Like, it's there in plain sight. There are rules to this world. You cannot do things to a group of people without telling them what you're doing. Subliminally, they show us through movies, through television. They show us what's actually going on, but we don't think under the surface. We only think surface level. Dive deep. Take a day. Just look up some stuff. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will learn something at the end of the day. You will learn something. But speaking on the Kardashians, I wanted to hop into the BBL epidemic, and I definitely feel like the Kardashians have definitely had their hands in that. It's like, especially with Kim K and her getting her butt done, and like then everyone else wanted that hourglass shape that Kim K has. But I'm like, she's imitating a black woman. Like, you naturally don't have that butt, first of all, and now you're profiting off that body type that you weren't even born with. And now she's talking about she wants people to take her more seriously, so she's talking about getting some of her butt removed. I'm like, do you know there's black women who actually, like, walk around whose butts look like that? So are they not supposed to be taken seriously? Are they not professional? And I think that's something that hurts me as a black woman to see. I mean, how do you guys feel that is, you know, being black? I know you guys are biracial, but, like, how do you guys feel about that?
I definitely don't agree with, like, the whole BBL and stuff like that. I think, you know, like, people don't look deep into it, you know, like, who knows what you're getting into for the future. Like, there's kids, young kids that getting them done. Their parents are allowing them, you know, and, like, you haven't even given your body time to develop naturally.
Literally.
Like, who are you to just spend all this money and, like, hey, this is what I want? But that's the thing.
And you can do it, like, for free if you, like, are actually devoted to it and go to the gym. You can actually gain what you want.
Right.
Literally, but we live in a society where people they want that instantaneous gratification.
Yep, nobody wants to work for it.
Nope.
No, they want it to come overnight. Put in as little effort as possible and look like someone they look up to, you know? It doesn't work like that.
It's like, you didn't work for that. Like, you don't deserve that type of praise. You don't. And it's sad because I think I've talked about this before. There was a viral video. It was on TikTok. And it was a bunch of women being wheeled off airplanes. All came from, like, South America because it's cheaper to get a BBL down there. All came from South America, all being wheeled in. Them giving them instructions, don't bleed on the seats, this and that. Everyone had, like, these like, butt pad things. And I'm like, this is so sad that social media has made women feel that, like, you have to look a certain way to be pretty or presentable. And I'm just like, what's going to happen down the line when you want to have kids or when there's complications in what you got done? And that's not reversible. Like, especially if, like, you get an infection or a condition, you could die. So you're literally risking your life for a body type that's probably going to be in style for, like, another 10 years. And by in style, I mean, like, social media, people are going to continue to get BBLs because, like, obviously there are people who are naturally born with big butts and, like, an hourglass shape. But I think it's disgusting and sad and honestly kind of pathetic. And I'm sorry to the girls who have BBLs, but it's like, go to the gym.
And not even that, like, they're the guinea pigs, you know? No one has really, like, all this plastic surgery stuff, that's kind of a newer age as far as taking it to the extreme with, like, you know, implants, breasts, and butt. Like, this is all being tested on you. So, like, you know, however it turns out, they gonna find out just like everyone else.
In 10 years when you look like a mutant.
Right.
And it's definitely the social media, the influencers, the celebrities. It's their fault because they go and do it, and then all of the normal people, the regular people, they're influenced by it, so they want to do it now. So it's just messed up.
No, literally, it's an obsession. I like also like with the Travis Scott situation. People are so obsessed and infatuated with these people that they don't even see them as human. They almost see them as godlike.
Yeah.
Like the whole like the Beehive, the Beyoncés, and the Nicki Minaj stand. Like it's insane. Like you should not be so infatuated with
Praising
the person.
another human being,
Exactly.
like they're above you or something. Like
Literally,
And
like
that's in the Bible. Like thou shalt not idolize. That's what celebrities are.
they're idols to these people.
Yep.
and like you mentioned, like these things are rituals. You know, like people unconsciously don't even know it that they're like feeding into this whole little satanic ritual or whatever could be going on.
Literally,
They don't know and they really don't care.
they don't. And I'm like, oh my god,
That's why it's good to, talk to somebody on the same level as far as like thinking and just mindset.
I can understand. what
It's
you're
good. It's
actually
good to
talking
talk to
about.
people on the same level and like think outside the box. They're not gonna go with the flow and
exactly. I've had conversations like this with like close friends, and it's like they look at me like I'm crazy, but it's like since we were children, we have been brainwashed and programmed through, cartoons, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. We were just talking about this in the other room. We may have loved those shows, but there was so many subliminal things that we did not catch that were being fed into our subconscious. And it's the same thing with social media now. Everything you see, everything you take in, everything you listen to, it affects you whether you know it or not. Like, even like, I'm not gonna lie, we are all guilty of listening to music because music is good. It's entertaining, but it's like, if someone is speaking negatively in a song, that negative energy now comes back and affects you because you're taking it in internally. And you know how like you'll just, lyrics will just pop into your head. You just start singing and dancing. You're just like, where the fuck did that come from? It's in your subconscious. Like it's now in you. And that's the crazy part of this. I didn't mean to go off in a tangent and rant about this, but like, I'm just like, talking about this just like gets me so amped. But back to the BBL situation and plastic surgery. You guys go to the gym a lot. They work out. They're athletes. They work out. They got
a little bit.
exactly a little bit. Yeah. So what's something that like, or like a crazy gym story, something that you've seen that you're just like, holy shit, like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck's going on? Like,
I mean, I guess you can say like just the people that are, that you can see that are on some type of supplements and stuff like that, like steroid users. I mean, you run into them at the gym, so.
And they be doing extra things. Like, we see that you're big, you don't have to put on a front for us. Like, we definitely
like,
see
take
you.
it easy. Like, we get it. Everyone can physically see. There's no competition, but I feel like the people that are on that route, they're just like kind of bipolar in a way. Like, and that's a proven fact. Like, there are, it can mess with your head a little bit.
One
you can
moment
have
you can
anger problems, all like that.
Yeah. One
And you'll
moment
see
you
it.
be chill, the next you're cutting up.
see, I'm like, why would you want to take a supplement that even you risk fucking with your brain?
That's the thing. People, like I said, they want that instant gratification, and like no one wants to work for it and put in the time to actually, achieve a nice physique over time. People want to take the shortcut. So
That's all it is too. Like he said, the time and the consistency. It's not that hard once you start doing it. Like,
you just gotta set goals and like, just stick with it. Really, the consistency is definitely hard in the beginning. Like, when I first started working out, I wasn't like motivated the way I am now.
not at all.
It took time. Like, I used to hate doing certain body parts. I used to hate like.
Legs.
Yeah, like,
I hated doing
I mean, I
legs.
feel it. I wasn't always into certain things, but like, the more you push yourself and like, you start to see those small results, then you're like, okay, I got it, and you just keep gradually setting goals,
And once you start to see those first gains, you fall in love with it. You don't even think twice about going to the gym. You don't think twice about like, I don't want to do this. Or you actually want to do it because you see what it's doing to you.
and not even just the physical point, like your energy, like you'll have better energy, you'll feel better about yourself. Like, since I've been working out, my confidence has rise, like going out and about, you have a different type of like swagger about yourself. Like, you know, you're out here putting in work and you see the results that you're getting in life. So like, you have no choice but to feel good about yourself, you know?
No, facts.
That's what I get out of it.
No, facts. And I think that people get depressed and sad when it comes to stuff like that, like when they don't see results and they think they're wasting their time. But what is that? I think it takes 21 days to make something a habit.
Yep.
So let's say you're waking up every morning, let's say 8 o'clock, and you're going to the gym. And it's hard. You have to have like good self-talk in your head, like force yourself out of the bed. Because I know there's days where even going to work, I struggle. It is so hard because also I don't like my job. But you have to have that positive mental talk. Hey, you got to do this. Like, it doesn't matter how much you don't want to. You have to, because either it's going to better you, you're making money, something. Like, you have to keep yourself motivated to continue to go. And whether that's, you know, with owning your own business or having a job, you have to have something to keep going for.
Set goals, literally. Like, if the whole workout, like, fitness experience along the way has been goal setting, you know, just small things, whether it be like a weight limit that I want to hit or, you know, certain reps or anything. But when you write it down and put it in paper or even just, you know, jot it down somewhere, then, like, you start to like feel better about yourself when you hit it, and it's not as hard as you think. You just gotta put things into action, like, really.
No, literally.
That's the biggest part, taking action.
And one of the best feelings is getting done with your workout. You at the beginning you feel like I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, but at the end you're like, okay, that was such a relief. I'm done with the workout. It felt good. It's the best feeling.
And you know that you pushed through. Like, there's days when I definitely don't feel it. Like, I mean, you know, all the time. Like, there's just here and there days where I don't feel like doing it, but the fact that I still showed up and put in, you know, some effort is better than doing nothing and, like, constantly making excuses about things and just, like, people all the time, even me, like, people will push off things and be like, hey, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start New Year's resolution. Like, no, start today. Like, stop making excuses and just go all in with it.
No, facts. And a part of like what you just said when you said setting goals and you said writing them down. On my birthday, I wrote a letter to myself, writing down everything that had happened to me in that year, how I was feeling in the moment. And then I wrote down goals that I wanted to hit next year. And I'm going to open it on my birthday of 24 and kind of see, like, did I meet those goals? And I feel like me writing them down is a part of, you know, manifesting that. And now since I wrote that down, that is something I have to work towards because this is something I want for myself within a year. I wrote down, you know, moving out. Where I want my podcast to go, you know, job-wise, where do I want to be? Where do I see my business at? And I think setting goals is a big way to grow as a person, especially being an adult and, you know, trying to figure out what you want to do, where you want to go in life. It's sitting down with yourself, having those hard conversations, you know, what am I good at? What can I do? Damn. Sorry, I just went blank for a second. We're just going to have to fucking cut that out. I want to jump back into the past a little bit for you guys. So I used to work with Zach at the job. So that's how I know Zach and his brother. I didn't know you in high school or anything. I want to know what high school was like for you guys, you know, being biracial, growing up in the society that we do live in, you know, what was the positive? What was the negative? Like, tell me about you guys and how it was life as a biracial person growing up in was it a predominantly white area?
Well, I mean, we experienced both growing up. So we grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and we went to a predominantly black school. So we were exposed to that at a young age, honestly, all the way up until we moved to Michigan when I was in 11th grade. So all I really knew was
in 5th. So.
Yeah. All I really knew was like a predominantly black school. So, I mean, it was cool. I never had a problem like fitting in or anything. For me, at least, like, I never really experienced anything too bad. Going to the black schools, though, like, I was able to fit in and, like, you know, just not have many problems. But I will say, you know, coming to a white school, it was a little different. I'm not going to say that I didn't fit in or anything, but I could just feel the difference, you know. People are more so cliquey, you know, like, even within their own like ethnical, racial groups, like they kind of stayed more so to themselves. But like in Memphis, I feel like it was more kind of diverse and just like people, like it was a mainly black school though, so more people were like open and just like.
Well, I think
Black people are more
black
open.
people love other black people.
Yeah, for sure. You don't even have to know a black guy. Yo, what's up, man? You know,
You just give them that nod. You just
I'm not,
know.
and that's the thing. Like here, I will say, the South is a lot more friendly. Like people would think, you know, South,
shocking to
no,
hear.
it's a lot more friendly. Like my dad, when we were growing up, like we lived in the South, so like we'd be in like Arkansas, Mississippi. Like I got grandparents out there. Like we'd be riding down the street, like honking horns at complete strangers, and everybody's waving, like, you know, just
Okay, Southern hospitality.
literally, like everybody is happy and happy to see you, and they don't even know you. But like here, you can see I run into people at the gym now that I went to high school. I graduated here. I will see them, they will see me, and I'm like, you know, trying to speak, and then people will like basically hold me like.
That's
know, like you don't see me, and I hate that. I hate fake people like that. But like, I mean, I understand. Some people just
intimidated as fuck.
yeah, it could be that. So I just, you know, if I get that kind of treatment, I'm not about to push anything. Like, hey, you want to be like that? That's you. I'm gonna keep doing my thing. I'm not about to force anything, but I can't just say I've had any bad experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, just like him, I've never had any bad experiences either. I'm actually still in high school, believe it or not.
I know he does not look 17.
So, and when I was in Memphis, like he said, everything was diverse. Everybody cool with each other. Even like the white people was cool with the black people.
Right.
And here it's the same way, but like there's groups. Like, and I'm still in high school and I see it. The black people hang out with the black people. The white people hang out with the white people. And then all the other races with their own race. So,
I mean, people definitely can like relate and get together, but it's not as genuine. Like I feel like in the South, like black, white, Arabic, whatever, like people will come together and like be cool
and
you know?
understanding of each other's culture too.
But here it'll be like when I moved out here and like we went to a more of a predominantly white suburban school, like definitely clicky. Like it wasn't. I don't know. I feel like I've always more so. I don't know. I really don't know. It was just more.
You just moved, going with the flow.
I've always been more of a. I'm not gonna say completely to myself type of guy, but like I like to do my own thing. I'm not gonna force anything. So,
like he was saying, a to yourself type of guy. Like I can be by myself without feeling some type of way. I don't need a whole group. I actually rather like not like I like having my friends and my friends by me, but I like enjoying time alone.
Definitely.
Just spending time alone, and
No, you're good.
no, but I feel like that's like going off of what he said and being alone, like not having, like being able to do that and conquer that. Most people cannot deal with themselves being alone. Some people have to have,
2, 3 people around them
or
all the
even
time.
being in a relationship to feel good about themselves. But like, I feel like that it starts with you. Like you have to master yourself and be willing to put in the work to, to be better for somebody one day or meet the right people.
Facts. And I'm glad you said that because I really want to touch on that. Being alone, and I think it's definitely scary for some people because when you are alone, you're left alone with your thoughts and everything that subconsciously is in you. And now those demons that you've been holding on to, you now have to deal with them because they're there. So whatever, addiction or whatever is going on in your life or whatever trauma you've experienced, that's all you're going to be thinking about. Because I feel like some people can't quiet their mind, and it requires a lot of healing and a lot of thinking and recalling and re-experiencing things that you probably don't want to re-experience, but it's all about growth. And you have to talk about those things and face those demons. Because if you don't, they're going to be with you for the rest of your life and you're never going to grow. And those people who treated you like shit in the past or whatever experience you went through, you're just going to carry that and you're going to project that onto other people. And I think my moment when I spent the time alone and I had to deal with my shit, some of the scariest moments of my life. Because it's like, it's a part of figuring yourself out as a person. And that takes a lot of time. It takes years for some people to figure themselves out. We're still constantly figuring yourself out.
And you're never going to be fully satisfied. That's life. You like me, I can actually look back a year ago and be like, wow, like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but like, just to see like what I've done and what I've been through, it makes you feel good because it's like I'm setting these small goals and I'm working towards something, and then you literally have no choice but to level up and grow in some type of way if you're doing something consistently and you have that, drive to do better and be better.
Facts.
It starts with that. Like if you can realize your flaws and work at it, like you have no choice but to do better and do good in life.
That's all you can do. And that's what we have to do as people is constantly, I don't want to say pick at ourselves, but figure out what's wrong, what's the problem, and fix it. Move forward because we're constantly growing, we're constantly changing. We're going to always be in different types of environments around different people. And, trying not to let other people affect you. Kind of beating to the own tune of your drum, honestly, and not letting anyone be able to come in mentally and destroy you. Because I feel like that happens a lot. Because I know earlier we were talking about relationships and stuff and how sometimes within a relationship you can get so lost and caught up and you're not focusing on yourself. You're not focusing on your goals or long-term things you want to do. All your energy is put towards this one person and not you. So when that relationship ends, when it's over, and now you have to pick up the pieces and figure out where am I going? And have to figure out your life without that person. That's why you always need to be doing you, but also like, I don't want to say doing the other person, but like,
yes, you gotta put in effort.
Yes.
Like, especially in a relationship, you definitely, it's a two-person thing, but you can never stop putting yourself first, especially if you're, like, in the beginning stages of life. I feel like it, and you have goals and things you want to do and accomplish in life, you should never stop just because you met someone else. Like, and that's the thing. People will get in a relationship and forget, where their head was before, where they were going, the goals and everything that they had. But, you have to stay on it.
For real. It's all about,
But there's nothing wrong with, wanting a relationship.
Yes.
Because it's experience and, it's good.
I think it's human nature to, want a partner.
Definitely. It's like literally. It's only natural, so.
No, for real. It's all about, don't get so caught up to the point where you lose yourself and then after you have to pick up the piece. I mean, obviously you're going to have to pick up the pieces regardless because the relationship's over, but don't lose yourself in somebody else because then there'll be nothing left for you after. So you always have to be pouring into yourself, giving into yourself because at the end of the day, you really only have yourself. Yeah, you have family and friends, but when you die, depending on
by yourself.
Where you go, heaven, hell, that's up to you and God. Y'all got to figure that out. Where are you going? How you want to live your life. And I think, actually, I kind of want to talk about perception for a second. And this is something I struggled with for a while. How I perceive myself versus how other people perceive me. But I came to the understanding that how other people perceive me is none of my business. It's all about how I perceive myself. And, like, at that point, I don't let anyone get into my mental. Because I know who I am at the end of the day, and I know where I'm going. So it's like, there are so many different perceptions of you because, a lot of people know you, right? So it's like, you are a different version of you in everyone else's head. Based on, the information you told them or what they know about you. So it's like, you have to be okay with yourself and finding you, growing, and I feel like that's the whole point of being a human being, figuring your shit out. And
if you know who you are, if you yourself know who you are, that's the only thing that matters. Because at the end of the day, nobody else cares about you.
No one cares as much as you think.
For real.
That's a big thing. Like, at the end of the day, it's just you. So you can have an interaction with somebody and they could not even be listening to you because they're stuck in their own problems, worried about how someone's perceiving them. So they're just in their head. You never know. So, like, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You do you and focus on you, and, like, hey, whatever happens, happens. Whatever comes to me is, like, that's based off of what the work I've put in. So, I don't even know.
I saw this TED Talk, and the guy was talking about perception. He said, most of our terrifying moments are like us overthinking. Like, we play out these scenarios that never happen. And it's like we're making ourselves suffer over things that are never going to come true. And it's like, why am I over here overthinking, having a fucking panic attack or anxiety attack, and I'm thinking, oh, this person's thinking this, but I can guarantee you 90 to 100% of the time, like you said, no one cares. No one is thinking about that embarrassing thing you did the other day. No one cares. And it's all about getting out of your own head. Like, well, I think you need to be comfortable in your own head first, but getting out of that negative self-talk and talking down to yourself, that, what's it called? Self-deprecation, where you can't seem to say anything positive about yourself. And I've had moments like that where I'm talking to someone and I'm like thinking, oh, like they're staring at my face, or like I'm like overthinking everything, and I'm just like, I'm not even listening to what they're saying. No, literally. And I try to catch myself in those moments and be like, look, listen to what they're saying. You never know, this could be an important conversation. Really listen, take everything in. Stop thinking about yourself, one, because I think that's kind of mean. If you're having a conversation with someone, you should also be listening. And stop negative self-talking to yourself, because I think that's one of the biggest things, and most people's downfall is themselves. You don't have that motivation. You're constantly being negative to yourself. So, like, how do you expect to grow and, like, achieve those goals when you're not putting anything positive out there? You're not speaking positively to yourself. Like, this was a while ago. I don't do this anymore. I mean, I probably should get back into it, where I would write positive affirmations about myself in the morning, or like things that I wanted to do. And I would like sit in my bed and just kind of write and everything. I need to start doing that again, because that was really good.
I listen to affirmations on YouTube all the time. And it's actually like right when you wake up, you put on the affirmations. It's a good way. Like, let's say you're listening to confidence affirmations. Mm-hmm. You actually feel it. Like, no cap, you actually feel it.
That's good. Something else I wanted to jump into. I know your parents are going to be watching this, so I don't want to get y'all in too much trouble or whatever. But what's something that you did as a child, adult, teenager, whatever, that you got away with, that like you're just like, damn, like I could have gotten caught. I was so close, but like now you can't really be affected because you're an adult now. Because like, what are your parents going to do?
I'm trying to think, man.
I don't even know. I feel like everything I did, I got whooped for it.
Yeah, if we got caught, we got caught. So. Damn. But I don't know. I was pretty good, to be honest. Growing up, like I was definitely, we fought amongst each other, the siblings and stuff. But like, we didn't really cause too many problems.
Okay.
And that's real shit.
I don't even think I can answer this. Like, literally, anything that I've done, I got caught for it. Like,
yeah, our parents was pretty strict, so they was on it. Like, what do you mean? Like, as far as sneaking out, I have never just done nothing crazy.
You've never snuck out before?
No, but if not just like that. Like, I might have left and not fully told them, but I wouldn't consider that as like a sneaking out. It's just like, all right, I'm
dipped
going.
And I didn't tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But even then, I don't really think it was like I got in trouble for it. Like,
okay.
Crazy. And like our parents were pretty strict in a way. Not strict, but like we were a close family. Mm-hmm. You know, we weren't just allowed to do whatever.
Literally.
So like, I don't really just have no stories like that. You know,
that'd
be crazy.
Because I grew up with also strict parents, but like I knew my way around them. Like I think for me, my parents were so strict. Like I love my parents; they're great parents. But with having strict parents, I feel like it taught me to be a better liar. Personally, like there was this time I was like 17 and I was talking to this guy who was in college. Should not have been doing that. So he came to my house. I immediately told him, I was like, when you pull up in my driveway, turn the lights off in your car so when I open the car door, they can't see. So I was like thinking 10 steps ahead because I know my mom's going to look out the window. And so he pulls up, like I get in, he drives away, and my mom, I felt like she like knew something was off, so she called me. She goes, so who are you in the car with? And I was like, oh, I'm in the car with my friend Riley. I know my mom's listening to this. She's just like, what the hell? Yeah, I did a lot of bad things. And so she goes, oh, put Riley on the phone. So I took the phone and I like put it as far away from my face. And I started talking in a different voice. And that shit fucking worked. Like my heart was just racing the entire time. And I'm just like, holy shit. And she goes, okay, like have a good night, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like.
Yeah, dang. I wouldn't even be cut to do that. That's how.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
That's how like they put the law down in our household. So like, I just wasn't crazy. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't have the balls to do that, but I just, out of respect to my parents, I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm gonna ask for the most part, and if they say no, like I remember being younger, if they said no, I'm like, all right, it is what it is. Like, my time will come one day. I ain't gonna always be living with them, and I'm gonna be able to do what I want to do. But as I got older, I definitely like, things easing up a little bit. They're not as strict, but nothing crazy. Yeah.
Damn. It make me feel like I'm a rebel child. I just
everybody's different though,
No, for real. I feel like my parents were great. I think it's because we grew up in going to church. Like, my dad was an elder in our church and everything, and I feel like I was always under like a close watch eye when it came to other people that went to my church. And for me, I felt like once I hit that like 16, 17, 18 mark, I felt like I was like, all right, it's my time to like fuck shit up now. And I don't mean that like for my parents, but I was just like, I don't have any life experience really. Like, obviously I was living life, but like I hadn't done anything bad at that point. Like, and all my friends have all these like stories that they're telling me and everything. I'm just like,
so you felt like kind of guilty, pressured because you didn't have none of that?
Kind of, yeah. Because it's like, it did get me into a lot of trouble though, but I've never made a mistake to where I couldn't come back from, thank God. But I don't know how to explain it though. This weird part of me like wanted to be rebellious at that time. And even going into like my 1920s, the way I said that was weird, like being 19 and 20, I was still like being even though I was an adult at that point, I was still being like rebellious to the advice and the guidance that my parents were trying to give me. And like, obviously they were being good parents, but
I think that's just normal. You're young. You got to figure things out on your own. It doesn't matter what your parents tell you. You got to sometimes just, go against them and learn for yourself.
That's the only way to learn.
I mean,
sometimes.
I've had some times like that, but I mean, that's life. They can't really be mad at you because they got to know at the end of the day that they raised you good enough, and they should know, like, hey, they're going to be all right. They might mess up a little bit, but
and even if you do mess up, it's always good because you'll learn from it. Okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Facts.
So,
I forgot I was literally about to say my train went crazy. I think like obviously now I'm 23, and I think when I was like 22 is when I really like sat down and I had that moment where I was, what's the word? I guess looking over everything my parents had ever told me in my life, and I was like really listening, like, oh, like they were right about just about everything. And we always think as kids, oh, they don't know what they're talking about, blah blah blah. But like when all that knowledge and stuff that they were giving me kind of came back into me, I felt like I matured almost in that moment, because I was just like, you know what, fuck all the bullshit, fuck all the bad stuff I was doing, because at the end of the day, like none of that stuff was getting me anywhere. And I know that sounds bad when I said bad stuff. It wasn't anything like that. I was just not being super truthful with my parents because I was afraid of the repercussions or how they were going to. I thought my parents would view me differently. And in the moment, yeah, they were upset when it came to, finding out things about their child that they never knew. But now they're like, you know what? You had to go through those things to become the person you are today. And I feel like that's what it's all about. We learn these life lessons, and we can take it in a positive way, we can take it in a negative way. It's all about how you take it, you grow with it, and you become a better adult. You pass that shit down to your kids, right, blah blah blah, or your siblings or whatever. I kind of wanted to wrap up the podcast. Is there anything you guys wanted to add, your 2 cents, anything you want to say to the people?
No, definitely check out our Instagram page, Sims Bros Fit on Instagram.
Yeah, that's about it. We appreciate, you having us on.
Oh, of course,
again.
of course.
Like, always good conversation. Yeah, that's really it.
All right, bet. My last words. Hope you guys have a good day, good night. Whenever you're watching this, hope you guys are having an amazing day. Take your moment, your hour, half an hour to yourself. Self-care routine. I think that's very important to take time for yourself. I like to say be selfish, but know what I mean when I say that. I don't mean be selfish with not sharing. I mean taking that time for yourself and reflecting. And yeah, that wraps up episode 7 of Overly Misguided. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you follow, subscribe, like, and if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you follow because a lot of y'all are watching but not following, and I see that. So see you guys later.
That was good. Yep. That was smooth.
It was.
I see a plus, I see a negative. No, I didn't.